that kind of became the theme to my brand for the last year and a half, is because so many people are suffering from mental health and their inner demons. Like addiction is another one of them. And
Absolutely.
nobody really wants to talk about them because they're ashamed. For the kids that are, 16, 17, 18 years old, they don't want to talk about it with their friends because their friends are going to laugh at them. And they don't want
Mm-hmm.
to talk to their parents about it because their parents are going to get mad and, just get mad because they're not a certain way.
Mm.
So I dedicated my voice and my brand to this. And about a year ago, I opened up my personal email and said, hey, look, if you have no one to talk to, I don't want you to feel alone. Email me and let's talk and let's work through your problems, because I was a recovering person of, what happened to me. I was able to self medicate and get better. And I
Yeah.
just learned through different things how to treat my anxiety and how to treat these different things that were ailing me. So
So
I thought, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, can you share some of that? What you learned and what as you said, these are challenges that affect everybody, and I'd love to know what kind of tools or what's helped you the most.
Well, the first and foremost, I've always treated my career as just something that's fleeting, in the sense that I don't get caught up in I don't get caught up in praise. I don't get caught up in being, this person who people look up to. I always look at my situation as I'm a human being just like everybody else. So when this time that I'm enduring right now ends, I'm not going to be stricken with needing attention and needing all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big step for me, is that I go out and I treat everybody the same, and I tell them not to treat me like I'm a DJ they look up to. And so that's a big thing for me. So when I'm home, I act like a normal person. When I'm on the road, I don't change.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started going through all these problems, I didn't have a drinking problem by any means, but I was like everybody else. I would like to have a drink to sort of relax
Right.
at a show. And sometimes you have a couple extra. It was just a normal thing. And I think the first thing I did when I started noticing that I was having some problems, I quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been almost 2 years since I've had a drink, and it was a great first step for me. And not feeling hungover in the morning when I have to fly across the country or, fly to Asia or wherever it had to go. That was a great first step for me, and just keeping my head clear.
I mean, I think that's a great lesson that, we use these things, alcohol, medication, whatever, to, to help us. They're coping, right? But sometimes they don't help. Sometimes they do more harm than good, right?
Definitely. And that was the thing, you put on weight when you're on the road. So obviously drinking doesn't help.
Right.
Second thing I did is I cut out meat, and I did a lot of research on meat and dairy and processed foods. And obviously it really helped that I got to travel the world, because I would go to Australia
Mm-hmm.
and I would see that they're not putting these things in their food like they do in the States.
Right.
And I really educated myself on food and nutrition. And I started noticing that everything we eat, they add sugar for no apparent reason. I mean, obviously for it to taste better,
Mm-hmm.
but fat and sugar and all this stuff is added to all of our foods. And that was contributing. I just felt that was contributing to me kind of being a little overweight. That was contributing to a lot of things mentally, because we don't need all that sugar. People drink sodas and, all these things. And I don't drink soda. I drink only water or fresh squeezed juice. And I think the diet part, the second part of my journey in cutting off things, was another one of the biggest steps for me, just cutting out processed sugar and processed foods and meats and dairies and all the fats.
Yeah.
That really helped me to
That's
feel
huge.
better, to have more energy, and to kind of just tackle these problems. I just think I became a lot better at being self-aware when I was going through something, and I would figure out different ways to help the situation. The biggest thing for me was to say it out loud. So I would tell my girlfriend, hey, if I'm having these feelings, I need to just tell them to you so I can hear myself saying them, because when I hear myself saying them, I realize how stupid it sounds.
Yeah, that's right.
that was probably the one of the bigger things too, is that I would say these things out loud and be like, why do I feel this way? I'm the most fortunate person on this earth. I know I work hard, but I make money. I'm not struggling. I get to travel the world. And when I hear myself say that out loud, I'm like, I shouldn't have problems. I should be strong, and I should realize how lucky I am.
Yeah.
And that was a big, I read a couple books and, did research on how to overcome these inner demons and whatnot. And that was probably the biggest lesson for me, aside from the diet, was that just talking and saying them out loud and getting them off your chest, because then you start to realize how crazy it sounds.
Mm-hmm. That's big, man. That's big. I appreciate you sharing that.
For sure.